And that's what we just saw. Batman versus Superman.
Yep, here we go.
BVS.
That's how excited I am.
Capital B, lowercase v, capital S.
You're killing it. Absolutely.
Well, welcome to the show, everybody. We are the Writers' Room podcast, and this marks a very important podcast for us. This is, after years of talking about it, our first video podcast here on HollywoodRedux.com. So
here we are.
It finally happened.
And if you're just listening on iTunes, thanks for listening, and welcome back, and I hope you're enjoying your ride to work.
Yeah.
Mom.
You can't see us still. You still can't see us. Go to YouTube and see us.
You can't see what Michael's doing right now, and trust me, you want to.
Wait, what is Michael doing right now?
Surprise.
Yeah, it's a surprise for those listeners.
We're trying to sell it.
Who arranged the seating in here? Just curious. How did I wind up next to with the
Sticky McGee?
Yeah.
That's what you trying to say.
just curious how that happened.
Really, it was just kind of a size scale ratio. We figured we'd put the two big guys on the end as like bookends.
Losing it.
Just so we can cut
back.
half of our bodies off. So
we don't
yeah.
seem so fat.
So we don't seem so fat. That's why I'm also leaning to the left. I don't know if you noticed that.
Staying in frame.
I'm trying to
Staying out of
Keeping it
frame.
sharp. Barely breathing this entire podcast.
Staying in frame.
You guys,
Staying out of frame.
you guys made a fatal error. Why didn't you wear black? Black is slimming.
I wore charcoal.
That's right, Kate.
Yeah. Much like Batman.
Truth.
Gotta.
My
So we
bat
know
suit
who
was
he-
at the cleaners.
You know who he voted for? Batman.
Yeah, Batman.
Batman.
Well, he lived throughout like the whole movie.
Yeah.
Spoiler!
Oh yeah. By the way, on this show when we talk about movies, which is something we were doing more recently, we spoil the shit out of the movie we were watching. So if you haven't seen this movie, you should probably watch it first. Don't listen to the reviews. Go watch it, and then come back and enjoy the discussion.
Yep.
Yeah, the reviews are some bull. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, the reviews lowered my expectations, so I really did end up liking it a lot more.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, I was actually overhyped. Like, I overhyped myself because I was really excited about seeing the movie. And those reviews are pretty brutal. And then seeing Sad Affleck.
Sad Affleck is a dream come true still.
So good. So
Even after
good.
loving it, I still love that video.
That is a delicious piece of internet gold.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
He's so depressed. He's so sad.
He's going through some stuff.
Yeah, he's going through some shit.
But this
r-
movie release being one of them.
Yeah, and the reviews were so bad that they were almost mean. Like,
It seemed kind of
holy-
personal.
Holy shit, they were mean. Very personal. And but it did lower the bar for me too, so I actually didn't overhype myself before I went in. And I think that might have been why some of the reviews were bad, because a lot of the trailers kept showing so much action and craziness that people were like, "Oh, this is gonna be dope.
It's gonna be epic all the way through.
I call that the Disney effect.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Marvel.
That's the Disney advertising blitzkrieg model they're following there, I'd say.
Yeah.
Then you've also got the genuine haters. There are people that are
I'm not
DC
gonna like
people that always hate on Marvel movies, even though Marvel movies are great.
Yeah.
There are Marvel people that just hate on DC because they think DC isn't as good. I don't know.
You can't do that.
Is that a real phenomenon?
Yeah.
That is a thing.
Absolutely.
I'm a DC guy.
I'm a DC person myself.
Yeah, but you're not like hating people on the internet.
I don't.
About it,
I don't
though.
bash people on the internet.
That's a thing.
I
though.
used to.
Oh my god.
And the truth comes out.
Matt, what made you reform?
Well, you eventually get sick of making Reddit usernames and passwords.
That you forget.
But we digress because comic books, right? I think
We were just gonna let that slip.
Yeah, that's a
Hot in here.
because Marvel, DC, comic book properties.
Yeah. No, people clash on that all the time. People are just genuine haters on one side or the other.
Yep.
I like them all.
Yeah.
They're all entertaining. But I am a DC guy. I prefer DC comics.
A little edgier.
But I love Spider-Man. I love the Punisher. Fantastic Four.
There you go.
Yeah, but in terms of the film universe, I mean, Marvel has like won the game. There's no game going on. Like Marvel's played all the games by
That's true.
itself
Yeah.
and has won them all.
Yeah. There's a game they like to play. It's called Monopoly.
And DC tried to play and was like Green Lantern. Oh, psych.
Yeah.
Queen down.
Bad move. And then Marvel's like, let me pick up the remains of Ryan Reynolds.
Let me scoop up the
Sweep it
dog
up.
shit that was considered
well, wait,
Green Lantern.
To me, no.
Cook it up a little bit take some stitches off the mouth and call it Deadpool.
Wow.
And it was awesome.
Deadpool was pretty awesome. Check out our last podcast where we reviewed Deadpool.
Link somewhere here or up there. I don't know.
It's over Katie's face.
Not sure how it's going to look.
Perfect. If we could just remain there the entire podcast, that would be
Absolutely.
my preference, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Chris and I could share it. We could just leave both of us like share
Katie,
the...
you read my mind. You know this, right?
You guys just
Okay,
stay
cool.
anonymous for the whole podcast?
No,
I
no.
think not.
That's all we want. We just want to, you know.
That's
No.
true. If you are a first-time listener and you're not watching this on the video podcast, I am one of your hosts, Matt. And beside me is...
Chrysalia.
I'm Katie.
I'm Matt. I almost became Matt myself. I'm Michael.
Did you forget your
Well,
name for a
rough.
second?
Well, hold on. Let me ask you this. Do you want to be Matt for today? I mean, we can all change names. I'm cool
Technically,
with that.
people don't know the faces yet.
Yeah.
I want to go by Buttonwillow McKittrick.
See, Katie jumped on it.
Are we doing aliases?
She knew what she wanted.
If we're
to
doing
be from the
aliases-
I've been
beginning.
waiting a long time for that to play.
Jonathan Demerquist might make an appearance here tonight.
Oh
no.
my god.
That's actually a frequent Matt alias. He's tossed that out a number of times.
There are places I go where people literally think my name is Jonathan Demerquist.
When he used to live downtown and he got super wasted after 2 a.m., he would go to this one bar and he was a lounge singer by that name, Jonathan
right.
Demerquist.
Oh my god.
And
right.
they all knew him there. I wound up with him one night and they all knew him. It was insane.
It's true.
That's fucking fantastic. I
true.
don't think I heard that story yet.
We need to go. That's all I know.
Yeah, where's Jonathan? Where's Jonathan all
Bring
all
him
of a
out.
sudden?
Bring him out, guys. Come on.
He hasn't been around in a while.
Well, no, he comes when he's called, you know. He doesn't... He's got business, so...
All right.
Serious business. He's flying around in his private jet right now, I'm sure of it.
Oh my god.
He's very hard to get a hold of.
Wow.
You know who else uses an alias? Clark Kent.
Clark Kent.
Whoa.
Kal-El, I should say, because Clark's the alias.
Whoa.
You know what's crazy? I honestly feel first of all, I like this movie. I might be one of the only people who like this movie, but I like this movie.
No, there are others.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I like the movie too.
Not me, but others.
You know, it's one of those things where, like, a lot of people are like, you guys really always say good things about movies. We always say good and bad things.
Yeah,
but
no, we try to, like, paint the whole picture,
Yeah,
I think,
you know.
is the general idea.
we make movies,
Yeah.
you know, for a living. So we take big and both, you know, we know what it's like to be in production and stuff like that. So we get it. So, but like, or if you don't agree with me saying that we do have bad reviews, check out our review of The Revenant, which is a masterpiece of brutal discussion.
Hey.
We didn't tear it a new butthole.
No,
Well-
we could have done worse.
We were respectful.
Yeah, we were.
We didn't do anything worse than what happened in that movie.
It's true.
Oh man,
It's true.
That's a great point.
So if you're thinking to yourself, these guys didn't like The Revenant, but they liked Batman versus Superman.
Damn straight we do.
Why
Yes.
am I still watching / listening? I'll tell you why. Because we're about to discuss it right now. You want to hear
Ooh,
that.
Smoke bombs.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
my
right.
god.
Be careful, though, because this is how we wind down another path. It's in
Yeah.
the celebration. We just go off into the daisies.
Katie, I threw a smoke bomb.
Just go with it. Just disappear into the smoke.
You know who else throws smoke bombs? Batman.
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 Damn right.
does. Batman does.
Oh, well, we'll get back to the previous point about the alter egos and things like that and the aliases. That was one thing in this movie. Everybody just kind of knew who everybody was.
Yeah, no, very
Yeah.
casually without discovering
Like,
it.
holy shit,
know.
I've got a dossier on these people. Yeah, no problem. I got the whole Justice League tied up with a little bow on it. You know, I even gave them cool icons on their folders.
like a
From the
lightning bolt.
CW.
Clearly, I just made, you know, a goddamn website with, like, all their little logos, and I got
Had some
every
time
little,
on his
you know,
hands.
You know,
yeah.
you know, Aquaman just got an A.
Yeah.
Just got an A.
Like, perfectly the way it was designed in the comics. An A with a dot.
That's actually the logo from his conditioner brand that he'll be unveiling with
Beautiful.
the movie
Aquaman.
Tresemme. Ooh la la.
Ooh la la, Aquaman.
Because his video was just
Flawless.
like luscious hair billowing in the sea breeze. It
And
was,
creepy little blue eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Creepy though?
Yeah.
Well, they're beautiful in person.
That's what I
Jason
thought. I
Momoa
don't think so much
is a glorious
Get
human
over
specimen.
yourself.
In a sunken shrimp. Shrimp.
In one of those sunken shrimps down in the ocean now.
In a
There's an Aquaman with glowing blue eyes.
Yeah, the glowing blue eyes don't work way down in the sea. That's scary as shit.
Yeah, I was like, what is that?
Well, it's like an eel or something when you catch them in the lake.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck that shit.
Or those little dudes that just have the little glowing light bulb tentacle. And
Oh,
then,
yeah.
like,
They
they've
lure
got
you
the
in.
terrifying teeth.
Those look
Yeah.
like they were drawn by Tim Burton in his journal.
Yeah. his journal is
whenever I
dark.
see those in nature, I'm always like, I think those came from Mr. Burton's imagination. There they are.
Very possible.
Swimming around
We were all connected.
under the deep.
Under the deep.
Anyway,
Under the deep blue.
Batman, right?
Batman, Superman, that's what we came here to talk about
Superman,
today.
though.
We were so on topic. Don't worry. We brought up Burton. He was part of Batman somehow back then.
Aquaman, we were talking
Yeah,
about.
there you go.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah,
No ties.
Aquaman.
We're fine. We're fine.
Well, Matt, you really liked it. What
I did.
What kick it off? What did you like most about it? What was the best thing about BVS?
Batman and Alfred.
Which is also an acronym for Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Whoa.
Go on, sorry.
Batman and Alfred.
Take two.
Honestly, when they said Ben Affleck was going to be playing Batman, I was like, damn it. Like, I was like, really?
Suck.
He has the chin. Can he do it? Like, he's a serious actor, and he's also, but he can, he's also, like, never seen him play that kind of line yet, So I was really nervous, but he actually blew me away.
Paycheck?
I was imagining like
Bro.
no.
Hold up.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Oh. Paycheck. Sorry. What were you saying, Katie?
I had to bring that back.
I don't remember.
No. That's a shame.
That's a shame.
No, Batman and Alfred were my favorite parts. I thought they were great. I thought they worked great together. I liked the way the Batcave looked. I actually want to see more of that.
Yeah.
In fact, I really feel like they took 3 movies and put them together to make this movie, which is why there's a lot of probably story missing.
Also, why it was 3 to 4 hours long.
Yeah.
It was
2
a little-
hours
it was
and
a
45
I didn't
minutes or
clock
something.
it, but we went in when it was day and we came out, it was night. I felt like I'd lived an entire.
And our showing was at 8 a.m.
We went to an 8 a.m. screening. It didn't make sense.
It didn't make any sense. Why did we go to
No.
an 8 a.m. screening?
That's all that we could get.
Yeah.
In order to podcast it.
Yeah, it's true. In order to do this for you fine people.
You're welcome.
You're very welcome. Anyway, yeah, no, that was my favorite part.
Okay.
What
Okay.
is happening?
I understand that.
And you liked Jeremy Irons' entrance into the Alfred.
Yeah,
Canon.
I thought it was great. I like to see Alfred being a part of the show a little bit more. You
Yeah.
know, like they've been doing that on Gotham. He's
he's a
MI6,
badass on Gotham,
he's awesome. Jeremy Irons didn't really kick any ass or anything like that in this movie, but he definitely played the smart guy who was there for Batman.
Yeah, the mechanic.
The he was a mechanic. He was working on all of his gadgets for him. It's that's awesome.
He was his therapist.
He was kind of like his wife a little bit. You just throw in snide comments every so often, not that I'll ever see any grandchildren kind of comments.
It was more like he was his mother almost.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wonder when I'm gonna get grandkids.
Never
Guess I
again.
can't hold my breath.
You're just gonna mutter to himself, and
He's checking the mail. He's literally looking at the mail one time. It's hope you're gonna have a grandson. I don't think that's gonna happen. Letter opener. In his hand.
I know that was a nice touch. That was, I think, that relationship was a kind of a different version of that relationship than we've seen. Especially, the Chris Nolan, Alfred, Michael Caine was beloved, but that was also a very different Alfred than Jeremy Irons is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
He's a little dark. I liked it.
And he went through. He went through
He'd
all
seen
the
some
way.
shit.
Yeah.
He went through all the way to the end of kind of the death of the Batman movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That same actor.
Yeah.
Oh.
But speaking of deaths,
Hey, when the movie starting with the death of the Wayne parents, I thought that was
Awesome.
pretty dope.
Yeah, that's pretty beautiful.
It's something we've seen so many times. I've seen it in every
It's a staple.
variation of the movies, but it was a little bit different, and it was cool. It worried me at first before I knew it was a dream sequence. When he started floating up with the bats, I was like, shit.
This is what people were complaining about.
Because all I thought was, I just read all these reviews, going in, trying to keep an open mind, and then all of a sudden it's kids floating up in a spiral of bats.
Nope.
this, and like Katie even leaned over and went, "What the fuck?"
I was very concerned. I was like, this is code red, because if this is 5 minutes in, I might need to go like make a sandwich. Like, I don't know.
And
it was that combined with the like bowl cut on the kid. Like, there are a few things that I was just like,
That was fucked up.
I don't know. But I wanted
I remember a bowl.
the bats genuinely looked scary as shit, though.
The
In
glowing
back, yeah, with the
eyes.
glowing eyes and
Yeah.
stuff. That was kind of creepy. So
You know, I liked it in general, but I did feel like in terms of realness, it was pretty clunky. It didn't move. None of the Batsuit didn't move very well. Either version of it. It was like kind of hard to buy him in the desert fighting all those guys, because he moved so slow
Yeah.
in all those layers, and it was like,
that's why they got
strained
him.
credulity maybe.
that's why they got him.
Yeah, but in other places too, where
Yeah.
in the suit, I just saw him and he seemed kind of like a can of Campbell soup to me. just crammed in there, Ka-dunk, and put a Batman label on him and a symbol on his little
I
label.
see that. I see he was kind of bulky
We should
throughout.
do that for art.
Yeah, he was super bulky, but I
bulky.
mean,
But he was mobile. He was very mobile, at least when he took down that whole floor of hostage takers.
Yeah, well, he looked cool. I liked the way he looked.
Right.
Martha.
Martha, no!
They said it seemed like they said Martha back and forth about 15 times. Martha.
Why'd you say Martha?
It's Martha's his mother's name. Martha.
That's Martha's name.
Anyway.
And then I literally feel like when it's like, that's his mother's name, and he stopped, and they looked at each other, that I was literally seeing like a Step Brothers, like, did we just become best friends? Yep. And then there's like, you got my promise, bro. Your mom's not gonna die tonight.
That was a big commitment, though.
Essentially, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
keeping that
huge.
promise. That
Yeah.
was a lot to take.
Ballsy.
That was very. But it's Batman, so fuck yeah, he can do it.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Batman's got this. No worries.
Just saying.
And I do love the reference to The Dark Knight Returns, because there was like when he at the end of that scene he punches through the wall and he saves Martha, and like that was like almost shot for shot from a comic where he's holding like that big machine gun, and homie's got the like gas tank and he fires it, and that was a different villain though in that comic. I can't remember who it was at this time, but that was pretty cool. It was a good nod, but I just felt like in movie form, when like that was just such an impossible task to really shoot that in the time that the bullet hit that and blew everything up to cover Martha, when in fact if this dude was holding his finger on the trigger, you still fired a bullet. You could have hit him in the head, killed him, not blown up the entire floor, and risked Martha's life.
Yeah.
But this Batman's a little doesn't really give a shit about that type of thing, I don't think.
He's lost sight a little bit. That's made pretty clear, I think.
Hey.
That he's misguided Batman that we're seeing come back to the path. I actually really am interested in that story. I
Well,
like
I think
that
the death of
part of the story.
The death of Superman is going to make him kind of change his ways a little bit. So I think when we see him again, and I think it's rumored to be like a Red Hood type story. So if we
shit.
see him again,
That'd be badass.
that would be pretty great.
So excited.
I thought it was going to be Lego.
Oh wait, that is coming first.
That wouldn't be too bad either.
It's
Just
not
saying.
unlike the death of Phil Coulter and the Avengers, how that is like a unifying moment for them. It's kind of like a unifying moment for the baby Justice Leaguers, like a rallying point.
I liked seeing
Except for Superman, I guess, and Phil Coulter is Phil Coulter.
Ooh.
I'm just saying story
And
points. Story
Superman.
points are the same story point.
Yeah, and it seems like they're going kind of Crisis on Infinite Earths route a little bit, with Flash coming back in time to warn him.
Right.
And I think that because of that, and because I think it probably has something to do with Wonder Woman being there. Don't know exactly what, but I think because she was there, these timelines were getting crossed a bit, and both the heroes were having alternate reality type dreams. For instance, Batman is seeing basically an evil Superman and Darkseid,
Yeah.
destroy the future.
Deep.
So, and I think those two timelines may have crossed, but in the process, Batman had to figure out that Superman was good, and that's why the whole battle happened. Which I got to say, out of everything, my biggest gripe with this movie was how short that fight was.
Oh yeah.
I saw the entire fight
Yeah.
in the commercial.
Yeah.
The entire fight is in the commercial.
Pretty much.
I mean, there was nothing that was not shown of that fight beforehand. I was expecting to see a couple of fresh things, like a couple of, thrown against a wall or something different. But I mean, I saw that entire fight almost.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing, man. Like, nowadays they're giving way too much away in the trailers that
Yeah.
there's
It's a
no more
problem.
surprise,
It's the Disney effect. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like, this is how things are going, where studios feel they need to bludgeon potential audience members over the head with the material in order to, like, beat them into submission into going to the movie. It's like, just make something cool. We'll go because we want to go to the movies and see something cool, guys.
What? Deadpool was a success. Deadpool was a success.
Right on.
Well, that's what they sound like sometimes. Deadpool is a success. We got to make everything an R-rated comic book movie now.
Wolverine R.
Because that was what the success was. Although Old Man Logan's going to be dope as shit with an R-rated.
It's true.
Yeah, that's
Just gotta say that.
true.
Yeah, but the other Wolverine movies didn't have R ratings, and they were still Wolverine movies.
They
What were they?
sucked.
What did they lack? You feel? I feel
Emotion,
like I feel like those
story.
things. Yeah, well, those things don't come with an R-rated movie, though.
Good visual
Those things
effects.
come with a writer and a vision. Those are other things. I don't like any of the Wolverine movies very much.
I wish there
but
could have been more gore.
I don't think they would have been
Yeah.
better if they were R-rated movies.
I think the R rating comes with the violence, because that's what Batman versus Superman's unrated R cut is going to have.
Yeah.
Is
gonna be
they had to
badass.
scale back the violence in the fight, which I'm guessing means blood. And I guarantee in that fight scene when he goes to save Martha, Batman slices some dudes up with his fucking cufflinks of doom, because he seriously, I've never seen the fighting style with that much use of, like, his suit,
It was badass.
and his fucking grappling hook was, like, unreal. Like, you see it in the trailer where he's, like, jumping off
The brick
Yeah.
building.
the brick building and he uses it again. I'm like, oh my god, he's moving around so fast. Like,
Yeah, the grappling hook was pretty cool, and he used it in the battle too.
It's
He-
smashing.
Yeah, he used it. He used it as a weapon too. He used it.
Yeah.
I like because he's the detective to me. My Batman is the detective.
Yeah.
Is like Ra's al Ghul's detective, and like I saw a lot of that in Ben Affleck's Batman.
yeah.
That I had not seen in any other Batman actually.
Yeah.
So-
I would have
Good
liked to
point.
have seen more of that.
Yeah,
and
me
I-
too.
Yeah.
And I hope that, if it is a Red Hood story, we get to see a little bit more of that.
Undoubtedly, we will, because that is a very personal Batman story. That's the Batman family, Batman's house. Like,
And Affleck's going to direct it.
Ooh,
I hadn't heard
interesting. I
that.
didn't know
I
that.
think he's going to direct it. That's what
That'd
I
be
heard.
pretty cool.
That'd be interesting.
I don't
okay,
know.
well, sure, give it to
Affleck's
another
cool.
man.
It's supposed to,
Well, Katie cries in the corner. I'll just go. It's fine.
yeah. Hooray for Hollywood. Not sexist Hollywood.
It's cool. Just let them get all their yayas out now, because we're working on our stuff.
I'll say this, and I hope nobody takes offense to it. I don't think they will. I like Batman vs. Superman. I've liked Man of Steel. But I do feel somebody else should probably start directing these movies a little bit. And I know they're doing that with, like, Aquaman. James Wan's doing Aquaman.
Oh, awesome.
Oh yeah, that's
yeah.
That's an awesome announcement.
I heard
Wonder
that
Woman
today.
had a different director. Flash will have a different director. But to come back for Justice League, there's so much, even in this movie, even though before every battle they said, that place is evacuated, or that place is uninhabited, or that place has 0 pedestrians.
They did. They were like,
Go
no
for
people,
it.
get it?
Less than 100 people, mostly homeless. I mean, it's the port.
They did it a couple times in the movie. You heard it, and you were like, okay, we get it. You're not killing all the people of Metropolis / Gotham, which is apparently one gigantic township.
Yeah, but I
And
mean,
why
that
not?
just it just feels like it's the go-to for these movies with Zack Snyder. Like, there has to be a more creative way to have a battle with a bad guy than just having a giant electrical cloud or nuclear explosion or comets coming down. I mean, there's going to be destruction with superheroes battling no matter what.
It's gonna be wild.
It's going to be cool. People get thrown through buildings and things like that. But people were thrown through buildings in Spider-Man, and it didn't take down the entire building. You know, people, like,
But that was cool.
tens of thousands of people died in the Man of Steel. if they had done the same shit in a city somewhere, another 10,000 people would have died. But instead, they did it on an island and in 2 uninhabited places in both Metropolis and Gotham.
These guys have got to be seen as good at the end of the day so that they can join together.
Yeah, and I mean, especially Batman, who you've seen kill at least 30 people since the beginning of the film.
Just 30?
Amazing, by the way.
A good amount of people.
Well, more if you count the dream sequence, I guess.
Yeah.
Because that dream sequence was like a bloodletting.
Oh my god. That was a cool sequence, though. Like
that was.
Again, that's an epic-looking sequence without just destruction porn happening.
Yeah.
Like,
I liked that sequence. I thought that was pretty cool.
I mean, you can
especially too. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna, especially too, when it was like turned out it was a vision of Darkseid Earth.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is interesting. I'm into this version of Batman. Like, I have no idea how this is real. And then when that reveal happened, I was like, ah.
Yeah. I mean, almost half of Batman's story was a dream sequence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but Soups had some dream sequence. There were like so many dream sequences in that. Why were there so many dream sequences in a superhero movie?
I don't
know.
Well, I feel like there were about 3 too many.
Well, you know what I think it was? I think, like I said, I think this was 3 movies they had planned out. And I honestly think that when the Brandon Routh Superman didn't do so good, these movies got put on hold. And then Batman Begins comes out of nowhere when the franchise was kind of dead and is a hit. And then those are big hits and they're great. Mm-hmm. But then Nolan doesn't want to do that the rest of his career. He wants to go and do something else.
Oh, Interstellar, and then on and on and on. He had all these things he wanted to make.
And he literally made these movies, these Batman movies, to be standalone Batman movies, not to be part of a bigger universe. So he would have had to change that Batman's universe a lot. So those are great, but those are a standalone thing. These are new movies doing a new thing, and I don't know. I don't even know where I was going on that.
No,
they're
I agree
good.
with you.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just a different flavor, and I think that when they had time back in, I think 2006, when the Brandon Routh Superman came out, they would have had time to develop these films and put them out in a timely fashion, and still kind of hit a Justice League movie around the time probably that we would have gotten Avengers. Yeah. I think that was kind of the plan.
They would have been ahead of the game. That was way back before.
Well, there was a Justice League movie planned.
Right, I know, and it got derailed, like you were saying. Yeah. And
it was one of those things where I think just bad luck on Warner Brothers' part or DC's part. It took a lot of the Batman franchise with Chris Nolan made him a lot of money. He doesn't want to do it anymore. Let's give it to some new people. Let's reboot it. Let's see how it does. Kind of mediocre with Man of Steel. They didn't really. I mean, it was a hit commercially, but it was mixed reviews, just like how this movie is.
Yeah.
Then they let out, Gotham, Arrow, all these other, TV shows that have come out kind of since then and around the same time, did so well to build a bigger fan base to keep people coming and wanting to see these.
Yeah.
But I just don't want them to rush them out the gate.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't do anything to help it, and that's what this movie felt like. It felt like you guys took 3 movies, chopped them into one so that you can get on track with what Marvel's doing.
Yeah, which is wrong.
Take your time, develop your stories. If we don't get a Justice League for another 6, 7, 10 years,
it's okay.
That's okay. I want to see these characters developed. My biggest problem with this movie is I didn't get to see enough of Batman developed. I got the same stuff I already knew about. I want to see interactions with him. I want to see more detective work. I want to see him be Batman, not just looking at something through a scope. Killing 12 dudes. Done. Destruction. Not just cross, playing with toys, destruction.
Staring pensively out of his glass house at a lake.
Yeah, give me, that was a waste of time.
I know, it's so sad. I was like, this is a side of Batman that I've not experienced yet.
Yeah, that's new Wayne Manor, I guess.
Glass house Wayne Manor.
Yeah.
He abandoned the old.
Although there is something on Google Maps or Google Earth that you can go to. Google it.
Heyo. We'll have a link over my face this time.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. That's a lot of work in post.
There's a lot. We've gotten onto a lot of links here.
There's a lot of text happening here.
A lot of research, guys.
They're not subtitles. But there is something on Google Earth where you can actually explore that house. And they did a 360 walkthrough of that location and also the Batcave.
That is
so you can
pretty
actually
cool.
go through and tag it and look 360 around the Batcave and stuff, and actually go downstairs of that house into the Batcave, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Fun little things.
Fun fact.
Easter eggs.
And the looming specter of Wayne Manor, the bombed out hull of Wayne Manor standing like a specter on the hill there a few times. That was pretty emotional.
That was a really, I don't know if that was practical or not, or if it was a miniature or if it was CG or what, but that like building burnt out like from those aerials that they showed.
Yeah.
Looked really cool. It's like the big long shadows, and
It looked cool. And it was every time you saw it, you felt the weight of the loss of what had been burned away from the humanity of Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Right.
What once was great there before, yeah.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I cried a couple times in this movie.
Oh, jeez.
You know me.
You know what? I cried
I cried too.
for different reasons, I'm sure.
I also cried.
I cried at the end.
Superman.
Not during the funeral, actually. The thing that made me cry was like the one thing that actually like hit my heart. Like there was a bunch of shots in this movie that are straight from comics. Like Batman sliding Superman's body down to Lois and like Wonder Woman and stuff was like a really powerful image, really cool. But the thing that got me was Superman's casket, the black with the silver embossed like seal.
Yeah.
That was the cover of Doomsday.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. It was the cover of the special edition comic that you could get, vacuum sealed
And for some reason, because I had read that comic so much, I'm a huge Superman fan. He's tattooed on my body. Yeah.
Where?
You'll never know.
Well, it's a video podcast, maybe one day, but not today. But I love Superman. I've always loved him since I was a kid, and that just for some reason hit that like childhood chord, and I was just like
Weepy.
woohoo. Yeah. I was like,
weep.
that was a perfect shot for me.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Anybody else cry a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where?
Well, definitely that scene for sure.
Seat E7. So it's very small humor. Go on.
Definitely the, seeing the Waynes get murdered. That was pretty.
Always pretty nice to see the Waynes get murdered.
No. Well,
It's always nice to see a Wayne get
it's always
murdered.
nice to see him, but the way they shot Martha this time was actually pretty hard to take in to see. Yeah, so I actually looked away for that moment. I couldn't take it.
For the pearls.
That was bad.
It was cool. Right?
Yeah.
It was shot well.
Yeah, that's
not cool. I mean, kids' parents are murdered in front of them.
But it was shot so well that I actually felt the emotion to no, I can't see this. This is way too much for me, and look away.
Yeah, the thing with that got me too is Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Papa Wayne, saying his last words were Martha as like the life left her body and her eye. Like it was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh.
And again, by cool I mean well shot and
Beautiful.
interesting, different from the norm, which is nice.
Yeah.
You can't fault somebody for trying to do a little something different with the source material and staying true to the source material still, So
Yeah.
that's what a director's supposed to do.
Well, and I guess when confronted with the question of in a world where we've seen this character and this origin how many times? I don't even know. Ad nauseum.
I can count 6 off the top of my head right now.
How do you still make sure you set up an element of the character that, by the way, is a pretty crucial story element? Mm-hmm. And I say story lightly, but for what it was
So does Zack Snyder. Oh, sorry. I hope to work with you one day.
He needs a hug.
He does need a hug. That's what I've learned from all of his films.
Yeah,
Aww.
I know. I forget why we came to that, but the other night we were like, I feel like Zachary Snyder just needs a hug.
We read an article where he described
He
described Superman and his dad's relationship or something. And it was literally just like, Zack Snyder needs a hug, man.
Zack Snyder's just a little boy looking for a hug.
Yeah.
We got him. We got him here. We even have a sign that says
I know.
hugs.
We've now pinpointed the ethos of every movie he's ever made, I think.
Man. And when Kevin Costner in Man of Steel is like,
No.
he's
No
like,
more
I
hugs.
wish I had somebody who would do that for me. That's what he wanted.
Damn, son.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Damn. I never knew.
Yeah, it's real deep.
Yeah.
Sucker Punch. We'll let you draw your own conclusions on that
one. Hey man, that shit was dope.
Fun fact: that was Katie and I's first date. Was to see Sucker Punch.
What?
Yeah, really.
And when she didn't leave me, I knew it was meant to be.
Really set it
that's
down.
magic.
In my defense, I didn't know it was a date, so.
It's true. It's true. But she still let me pay for everything. So what does that say?
Touche.
Touche. Hashtag feminism.
Yes.
I do it all again.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Including Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, actually, I mean, I'm like ripping on it, but I didn't hate it. I actually didn't really. I too, I think, actually benefited from the oversaturation and the bad reviews.
Yeah.
I was so expecting Green Lantern. I was expecting Green Lantern. That's why I was like girding my pain loins for Green Lantern. I was just like, I know this is coming. And then when it wasn't, I was like, what a pleasure.
Not too bad.
With the exception of, I did think it was too long. I think a solid 90-minute superhero movie is pretty good, and beyond that, it better be The Dark Knight. So for these, and so like, and I say that about all these superhero movies that come out. I always, I think, probably have this complaint. I don't know if we've ever done a podcast before, but
they are getting longer and longer, though.
Yeah, seemingly, right? Like they just have to do more and more, I think, to wow the audience. So they just get more bloated,
Which is not true. I mean,
but this film, I mean, beyond film. Yeah, film, sure. Beyond like the running time, I mean, I could not get behind Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor, but merely because I think it was not Lex Luthor. I think it was a whole new character that deserves its own name.
He had hair.
Maybe Steve Jobs.
Lex Luthor has hair in the comics.
It disturbed me though, because I know him as a baldy.
Well, but I still think, anyway, also I might be biased because as far as I'm concerned, Michael Rosenbaum's Lex Luthor on Smallville is the definitive Lex Luthor.
Hashtag Michael Rosenbaum, still relevant.
He and I sometimes interact on Twitter. If you're out there, M. Rosenbaum, or whatever it is.
Then I apologize for my insult.
No, I'm genuinely a fan. I'm being sincere. I love Michael Rosenbaum. I wish he'd do something. He was the best Lex Luthor.
He was too, and also I gotta say, Smallville also had Papa Luthor on there, and I loved him.
Yeah. Well, but that's what I'm really talking about. I'm not just saying that it is a fan of Michael Rosenbaum's. I'm saying it because that version of the character is the, I think, probably truest version of the character that has the relationship with the father that's fraught, that's complicated, but isn't out and out like subversive or perverted in the way that Jesse Eisenberg's version seemed to suggest 5 minutes before the end of the movie, before all the bad thing, like just in a throwaway line kind of said his father beat him and something about abominations, so who knows. But it just, so for me, I just remember how nuanced the Lex Luthor of Smallville was, how he had that relationship with his father that wasn't black or white. It was very much gray. And then, experiencing Jesse Eisenberg's, I just thought, like, why are you yelling so much? Could you just stop yelling for a second?
I felt, well, I mean, like, with the Smallville Lex Luthor, too, you have a series, so you have a lot more time to develop that character, get to see those little scenes. Like, I don't think any movie has really given us a full-on look at Lex Luthor. Gene Hackman was awesome.
Oh, well, you gotta bow before Gene Hackman, no matter what.
That's my favorite Lex Luthor.
The Christopher Reeve movies are untouchable.
Yeah. I still think Superman 1 and possibly Superman 2 are the best two superhero movies ever to come out. Like,
all right.
I still love all of the new films coming out. I'm so happy I'm getting an abundance of comic book material all the time. But those are still probably my two favorite superhero movies.
Yeah.
The Dark Knight.
Dark Knight's good, but keep going back to it and watching it. It's not so great after the whole like Heath Ledger's death coattails thing wears off.
Really?
It's good. Don't get me wrong, but it's not as good as I remember it being on a most recent watch.
Huh.
So, dialogue's pretty crappy.
Wow.
I'll say that. Outside of what Heath Ledger says, pretty bad dialogue. Key point and example, go to the scene after the tunnel chase and listen to what the damn driver of the armored car says when the helicopter's crashing. Done.
What's he say?
What is that? Oh, oh my, no! What? It's a helicopter coming right at us! Oh, no! Yeah, I mean, literally.
There it is.
Non-stop.
What is he like?
I have to watch
narrating
the movie
a radio
again, then.
broadcast of it that we didn't know about or something?
Yeah, like, we can see it, dude. Are you, like, giving that to the blind kids in the audience?
Yeah.
Like, what, I mean, jeez.
All right, fair point. But, okay, anyway, but back to Lex Luthor, though.
Yeah.
The point I was making was that the way that character was written, the version of that character, is a different Lex Luthor than the version that was written for Jesse Eisenberg to play.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, not just the yelling of, sorry.
And I don't think Jesse Eisenberg is actually. I think he actually said he never read any comics before doing it. So like he literally was playing the part as it was written.
Yeah, and it felt to me as if the intention was for him to be a Steve Jobs type, a wealthy, eccentric, type genius.
So smart that he gets in a
type.
mental argument with himself on
God,
on
that was
stage.
great.
Stupid.
Have a good night.
I loved his take on it, man. It was so different.
It was nice.
Yeah, fine.
It was nice to see
I'm glad it
some
exists.
energy in Lex Luthor a little bit. And by energy, I don't mean when he just stands there and goes, wrong! But, just something, again, a little different. Like everyone's argument when they see, Krypton explode in every variation of Superman is, I've seen that. I want to see something different. Well, if we change the story, you're going to bitch nonstop about how we changed the origin.
Yeah.
So we have to keep the origin story the same. We have to just create it in a different way.
People don't know what they want.
Yeah, I mean,
They don't know.
Well, my answer to that is then can we please stop doing the origins? Can we just start telling stories and understand that at this point in human history, everybody knows that bloody Superman came from bloody Krypton in a care package mailed by his father. Like we all have seen that about a dozen times or so. Similar to Batman in the way we've seen that origin story at least a dozen times play out in various way, shape, and forms.
That's almost another reason I hope these movies continue being successful, is so that we don't have to get another one. Startup. Like Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man is now getting ready to have its third variation of Spider-Man.
In film.
And it's like, oh, he's going to get bit by the spider. Oh, he's going to invent the thingies. It's like, we get it.
Yeah. I do like seeing that he's got web shooters. I do like seeing the eyes move, which I think is like a camera thing. Because it looks like a lens that kind of shuts like an iris.
Makes sense.
But he's
photographer.
It makes that little noise too.
I also kind of wonder if at the end of Civil War we might see Captain America die.
It did seem like
I hope so.
That's where we're going.
Mainly because in the comics, the Daily Bugle and Peter Parker cover that story. Ooh. So and he's in this all of a sudden.
Deep and dark.
That would be neat if the movie actually takes that approach from the comic.
Well, and it's no coincidence that we just did Doomsday. This is how I always went in the comics. The comics always did these dual things, and you better believe that DC people could see where it was going, or somehow knew where it was going. I mean, I have a feeling they were like, we're gonna get ahead of the finish line.
Yeah.
We're gonna kill our one who means America first.
Yeah. Shit, and we see that fucking Thanos is coming. Gotta get Darkseid out.
It's the exact same character.
Which, by the way, there was a deleted scene that was released from Batman vs Superman Online, and it shows Lex Luthor in the pit that I guess if you want to call him Doomsday, the Doomsday Baby. Was birthed out of. He's standing in that pit like knee deep or neck deep in like reddish goo now, and it's when the SWAT team comes in to take Lex Luthor in at the end of the movie. They come in on him sitting in this big puddle of goo, and there's this giant demonoid figure standing there who's like talking to Lex Luthor before he dissolves off into the ether and disappears.
What?
And I think they took that out to try to keep his whole scene at the end of the movie more like, ooh, who could he be talking about? Who's coming? Mm-hmm. But it's very clear who that was probably supposed to be. Steppenwolf, his first, Darkseid's first in command. and he's very demonoid looking, and I don't remember seeing him holding cubes before, but whatever.
They have cubes in Marvel movies. So.
Yeah,
Like, we should have a cube too.
Yeah, we should have a cube. Yeah, you're right.
Let's get the cube, just in case. The kids want the cube. Get the cube.
Get the fucking cube.
The kids like the cubes.
Kids were pissed off that Marvel didn't explore the cube more. Get the cube.
Get more cubes.
You know what? Let's give them 2 cubes.
Do we have a spider thing? They like the spider thing. DC is a spider thing, right? What's the spider thing in DC?
What is a spider thing in DC?
I don't think there is a spider.
I don't
thing.
think so. Like,
what's the answer to that? Though?
You know
some
what?
kind of bug guy?
Somebody is watching this or listening to this and going, "Ooh!"
Like I know. No, then it's like, what about a bug thing? Are the bug things? Who's a bug guy? There's gonna be a bug guy or a bug girl. Oh, a bug girl. Is there a bug girl? Girls are hot right now. We like girls. We like the girls again.
And then it just goes down from there.
Hashtag feminism.
Hashtag bug guy.
Hashtag DC bug character. Find it.
Find that bug guy.
Find him.
We're terrible at hashtags. Michael, what was one thing that you really liked about this film? What was one thing that you really did not like about this film?
I really liked the way that Batman fought. He fought, like you were saying, tactically with his uniform. I also like the I saw you jump back. I'm like, oh, that's a bad one.
Speaking of that, with his uniform, the first time we ever got to see Batman get shot point blank in the shot, like he got shot twice point blank in the back of the head and in the forehead.
He was like,
and he was like,
unstoppable.
And just kept fighting.
Yeah,
it was the first time on film we've gotten to see that. I think. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
And
that's pretty cool.
It was awesome.
So
he lived.
Yeah,
the boy who lived. Well,
even though his parents didn't. And so
Harry Potter.
That's the part we don't say.
Oh my God, Harry Potter
the boy who lived when everybody else got killed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah.
I did like seeing the kryptonite little grenade little shot.
Yeah.
Sure.
I like the fight.
Where does he get those wonderful toys?
Right? He steals them from Lex and adapts them into his own weapons.
So, and what was one thing that you did not like about the film?
I didn't like that they revealed Superman was still alive at the end. They could have. They
didn't really reveal that. They merely revealed that something was supernatural was happening with the coffin.
Well, they've kind of established in this universe that when he starts to fly, it's like a gravity thing. So like stones would lift off the ground and everything around him. So like I think that
he's gonna bust through.
I think he was starting to float somehow.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're meant to understand that means Superman's alive, but at the same time, it's not definitive.
Yeah,
it's not like he is busting out of that coffin.
True.
Oh, that would be badass if you waited to the end of the credits and it was like, Wah!
Yeah, like
they could have waited to the end of the credits to show that shot.
That would have been fun, a little bit better at least with me.
Yeah,
but I mean, I enjoyed the movie for the most part, so I don't have too many gripes.
Yeah, Katie.
Yeah,
something you liked, something you didn't like.
I've talked a lot about some of the things I didn't like.
Story.
Yeah, well, for me, I think the problems that I had with the story, what I didn't like very much about the story was just that there wasn't really much of one to speak of. It was mainly a series of MacGuffins that just got us from plot point to plot point, from battle scene to battle scene, and the characters didn't. I don't know. They didn't feel real. They didn't have real emotions and relationships. They were definitely just, for me anyway, pieces, little toys being moved around a board, and nothing signified anything. Nothing meant anything. Just, two sometimes computer generated things bludgeoning other things that were sometimes computer generated. So, that's mainly for me where its story goes off the rails, is when you lose it, when it goes away, when you don't have it at all. So, because that's I loved comics growing up, but I didn't read them to see battles. I read them for the characters. I read them because those were some of the best characters in literature, in my opinion, in my 10-year-old opinion and my current opinion. So, so for me, I'm just like, well, when is the when are the characters going to return to Earth and have a conversation with each other and like I can, you know, or like do something that is not just Dragon Ball Z or Power Rangers, like, you know, fights in the sky. Anyway, so I mean, I think that's maybe my biggest dislike, is just I wish that it was just a little bit more of a real movie that had a story and that made some attempt to inspire people beyond just, you know, that looked cool, that was a cool thing with a fight and a toy and a car and a, you know, like just superficial stuff.
And what did you like the most?
I liked Ben Affleck's Batman quite a lot. I thought his portrayal was very interesting. I was definitely interested in that character, and I liked Alfred. I liked that relationship. I think Henry Cavill's Superman is a really good Superman. I really like. I think he's wildly underrated as Superman. He doesn't really get much to do, you know. He doesn't really have much flavor to act as Superman. And
Superman's a very boring character when you break him down.
Yeah,
it's a lot of inner monologue of, let me use my X-ray vision to look through this wall. Looks like they're home.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting that now I've been made more aware of because of the Marvel movies, because I only really read DC Comics growing up. I only read a few Marvel. I didn't really read, like Captain America wasn't really in my go-to circle. So watching the movies, it's dawning on me, like Captain America is Marvel's equivalent of Superman. And yet I find Captain America infinitely more interesting on screen. And I am trying to understand why. And the reason is just that Captain America, for whatever reason, has a more interesting story to me. Like the Superman story, I just am not that interested in compared to others. I like the character because he's Superman.
Well, he's never an underdog, too. I mean, you know, Captain America starts as an underdog.
Yeah, maybe that's why. Maybe because he's a person and not a alien. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I was thinking about it. Like, I was like, why do I like Captain America more than I like Superman? It is interesting. But I think, nonetheless, Henry Cavill does a really serviceable job as that character, as Clark Kent.
Nice.
And what else did I like? I liked seeing the whole crew. I like seeing the trio standing together in a film.
Yeah,
that's pretty fun.
Although Wonder Woman didn't really have much to do, alas.
What?
Although she kicked all the ass in the Doomsday fight. She was the one doing all the fighting.
I mean, but like she just showed up. Like there was no reason for her to be there, and she didn't like have any emotional ties to the character. So then when she was like helping carry Superman's body, it was like, okay, well, she's Wonder Woman, so obviously we know there's some connection there. But like in this actual movie, if you just go on what's in the movie, there's no... It's a missed opportunity. Like, why isn't there a relationship there for her to actually feel something and emote as an actor? Because Gal Gadot didn't get to do any acting, hardly. She's got to stomp around with big shoulders and, like, supertude, which I love, but, like...
You know, I think she's a warrior, and I think she saw that he made the ultimate sacrifice to win the battle. So it wasn't more of a, like, oh my God, I've known you forever and I'm so sad. It felt like to me like, you know, like you fought well, you fought triumphantly, and it was an honor to serve next to you.
More respect than anything.
Yeah, it was a respectful thing, I think. I don't think it was like, oh, no. Lois, on the other hand, was losing her shit. But,
okay, but don't you think that would have been a better moment? Don't you think that would have been a more meaningful moment in the story if they had a relationship of any kind to speak of?
Yeah, but they didn't. I mean, that's again where if this was split into 3 movies, which it should have been... They could have done that, but they didn't. I mean, I think everybody's big gripe is there's not enough story and development, but in this movie, if you wanted that, it would have been 3.5 hours long. It would have been another hour tacked onto it. And I think that, again, they could have done that, but at the same time, they should have just split it into 2, possibly 3 movies.
Yeah,
right.
And we would have had all those emotional beats. When Superman dies, there should have been not a single dry eye in the house.
Yeah.
And we haven't gotten to see him enough and fall in love with him enough.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Especially after the mixed reviews on Man of Steel, to actually say, oh my God, our hero is dead.
Right.
And that is why it didn't pack such an emotional punch for a lot of people, I don't think.
Similar to in Star Trek 2, how when Spock dies, it's the same thing where you're like, okay, well, when they did that in the original series, we had like hours of time spent with these characters and we wept for Spock. Zachary Quinto just got here, you know? So it's kind of the same thing. He didn't die.
Zachary Quinto didn't die, and it was Kirk died.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot because that movie bored me to tears.
Yeah, but still, I totally get what you mean. It still wasn't. You didn't have that emotion because you didn't spend 6 years with the characters before they were in 2 movies together.
Right, just you telling us to be sad is not enough. You have to actually give us things to understand the emotion through.
Yeah, and that's why when you kill Superman in Batman versus Superman, you don't have that emotion. I mean, obviously, if you've known the character your entire life, it does hit that note with you a little bit. But like, in a sense of movies, we don't really.
He's new. He's fresh.
The stakes weren't big enough to where if we lost him, we're heartbroken now. You know, we didn't love him enough. Mm-hmm. He wasn't Superman yet. He still made mistakes, like the Capitol building and like.
Yeah.
Only always showing up to save Lois. Like.
Yeah. That was, for me, that was another kind of point of like, it was like, Lois, lie low, girl. Like, get out why does she share so much screen time with the main characters? It was Batman v Superman v Lois.
Yeah. You know what? She's got a habit, though, of just showing up. Like, at the end of Man of Steel, she showed up like when he was breaking Zod's neck, you know, and it was just like she just randomly took a cab over there after the whole terraforming shit was going on, and half the city's destroyed, millions of people are dead. But
she's a journalist.
But she's also
just
a
go where the story is. I'm
being.
saying.
She wasn't chasing the story. Let's be very
I know. But I felt like I had to jump in just for a second.
No,
I mean she's an okay Lois Lane too, but like the thing that
she's good.
Bothers me about her is in this movie especially, she starts out as kind of a badass. Like you're thinking, shit, man, she's like embedded, she's doing some crazy shit. Yeah. Then it quickly turns into, oh, damsel in distress.
Save me.
Just repeatedly. Like,
and then she's that way. Then she's that way the rest of the movie, sappy and sad, and
in general, from
she's supposed to be a badass.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like I was just gonna say, like from a women character standpoint, it's pretty poor showing because, like, yeah, sure, we get Wonder Woman, but she barely speaks and has no personality. And it's like, yeah, she gets to fight alongside the boys, but like. I mean, all the other women. I mean, Martha gets kidnapped.
The boys got to fight alongside her because she was the one kicking ass.
Fine. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. But I see your point. She didn't have anything to say. She didn't have too much time on camera.
I'm just saying it's the same syndrome over and over and over again of like guys who write movies for guys, you know, with a guy story, you know, guy's world, and it's like the women kind of just wear like evening wear. Like Wonder Woman wore evening wear the entire movie. That's my complaint, maybe.
Well, because she wasn't Wonder Woman until the end of the movie. She had given up on mankind in a sense of trying to save them, and decided that she was going to just live her life on Earth the way she wanted to live it. So that's why she was wealthy. She was going to elegant parties and things like that. She was living the high life because she didn't want to defend the human race anymore, which I'm guarantee, since she said it's 100 years ago and it's 2016, and apparently that photo was taken in 1918, that when we see her movie, we're going to see why she gave up on the humans. So,
okay.
I mean, and Wonder Woman's entire design is based off of a dress. When she's back...
Yeah, you're right. Maybe I'm asking for too much from this. Maybe I am asking for too much from this, I guess.
I mean, think about it. When you put pants on Wonder Woman, you get the TV series that failed miserably. When they showed one picture, and that's the way they drew her in New 52. They put pants on her to, you know, try to say, like, we know better now. And, like, it didn't matter because the fans hated it. Even female fans hated it.
Because you're messing with, like...
Something they're used to.
Yeah, how many years of history when it comes to like the costume design?
In this movie though, it was boring for me because of what I'm talking about. That's all I'm saying, is that because there was not a single person in this movie that like was somebody I could identify with. I mean, I've always identified with frickin' Batman, so that's who I'm going to identify with in a Batman movie. But at the same time, in a movie that proposed to introduce the only central female protagonist in the DC universe, really, and with few variations, I guess. I mean, I don't know, just seemed like she could do a little more, be a little bit more like of a character instead of just like somebody who had to be in the movie because they had to get the Justice League off next, you know?
Yeah, I felt like Marvel did a bunch of that with their movies before the Avengers. They're just trying to shell out a bunch of characters. Know a little bit about them so you're familiar, please. Just know enough so that when the bigger movie comes, you know.
Which is stupid too, because we're getting all those movies before the Justice League.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
They would have done it anyway. Mm-hmm. There's no need to introduce them now.
Yeah.
So.
And Crisalia?
What's something you liked and something you did not like about the film?
Something that I did like was all the costumes, especially Batman's costumes. We got to see different designs.
Little safari outfit.
The little safari outfit was my favorite. I'm not gonna lie. Something that I didn't like, and Byron mentioned this in the movie, was Jimmy Kimmel was not in it. Especially their part, like when they like meet each other in the museum.
If you haven't seen that Jimmy Kimmel sketch, go to Jimmy Kimmel's YouTube page and you can see that.
So that's the only thing I'm upset about, that he wasn't in it. But other than that, it was great.
Hilariously, though, that entire bit on Jimmy Kimmel is exactly the way the movie kind of plays out.
That's why I'm saying
everybody's
Jimmy
like,
Kimmel.
you mean Bruce? What? Or Clark Kent or Kal-El, however you do that. First of all, how the F would Lex Luthor know that his name was Kal-El? Well, I guess he had already gone to the ship.
He
For
got
the
to
history,
the ship.
yeah.
Damn. Bastard.
Yeah.
He learned.
You got me there, Eisenberg.
There was so much plot. I don't blame you. The plot was dense. I was like, what is this with the computer? The thing? And like the thing with the thing and the Wonder Woman chip thing. Like there were so many MacGuffins. I lost track of them all.
This is the way I can describe the entire movie of Batman versus Superman.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It starts with the hatred of Superman by Batman because of what happened in Metropolis.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Because Wayne Financial Tower went down, killing a lot of people from Wayne Enterprises and
ruining his nice building.
and killing his friend Jack, who we had zero reference to who he was or
he was
from.
You mean Jack Redshirt?
Yeah, Jack Redshirt, who decided to say a prayer before dying. Makes sense, but that was a little overkill.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, we're going down.
Yeah.
Hey, God.
Yeah, I'm here.
It's me, Jack.
I hope you're listening. It's me, Jack.
It's me, Jack.
Boom.
Yeah, crunch. Oh, and hold on 1 second before I keep going. Bruce Wayne holding that little girl, and she's like, my parents. He's like,
so
we'll
pissed.
find your parents. Where are they? Points to destroyed building. Fuck.
Yep.
That's literally the face he gives. Is like, oh, damn it. I wish I didn't say that.
Gives the angriest hug.
Yeah. So anyway, Batman hates Superman because of this instance. Okay? He thinks he killed all these people and he should pay for it.
Yeah.
Batman at the same time is like extra pissed off. I just don't actually understand why Batman was going after the Russian folks from the desert, who were also, I guess he was going after them for something, but I don't know what he was going after them for.
It was never clear. And additionally, why Jesse Eisenberg wants to kill Superman.
Jesse Eisenberg wants to kill Superman for the same reason that Batman wants to kill Superman. He doesn't trust him. He doesn't want him to be on this planet.
But, like, why is he so mad at him? There's no reason for it.
We don't know. There was no explanation there. Again, a story hole.
Yeah.
So he hates him for the same reason. I'm just going with that. It's a big wide brush stroke there. He hates him for the same reason, and he literally uses the same Russians that Batman is tracking. This is how we cross paths with our heroes, to set up Superman in the desert because he's been watching him for a while, as well as the other metahumans, which is why he has a little dossier with all of them on there, which we've already discussed. But
Yeah, we have.
there's stupid little icons on there. I was like,
Hey,
why would he
man.
do that?
He would do that, though.
He spent time to color coordinate his like folder system with cool little graphics and different. That's stupid, man. He has more shit to do than that.
He happened to know their colors too. I mean, like that's just.
So anyway, they set up Superman because he'll always save Lois. So I guess he was chilling out in Metropolis. She was there. he heard the gun click from all the way from Metropolis or something and flew out because he knew she was in trouble.
It's still not clear, yeah.
And also, I don't think this was the case, but was that fucking Jimmy Olsen that gets shot who was working with the CIA? He was the photographer, younger kid. I think he was wearing something around his neck. It wasn't a bow tie, but like, was that Jimmy Olsen?
No, that was Jimmy Redshirt.
Because
his predecessor.
Didn't she say Jim or James to him?
I
Maybe.
don't recall.
That'd be a
Another reason we have to see it
If they
again.
fucking pop Jimmy Olsen in the opening scene, this is not your parents' Batman movie. Superman and Batman movie. Anyway, so they set him up in the desert because he'll always save Lois, and somehow made those guys kill a bunch of villagers to make it seem like Superman did it.
Clearly,
Very confusing.
Very easy to set up Superman.
Yeah, they have laser
Super
beams
confusing.
available.
Yeah.
We got this.
That's what I'm talking about. They would just like say a thing and it would be. It wasn't as if the story set it up. It was like, okay, now this happened, and it would just be. It was like, oh, okay.
There's nobody
Seems
on
like-
that island.
Exactly. It was like the Jedi mind trick movie. There's no one in the square right now. It's after 8 p.m. Like, okay.
It's kind of like watching Criminal Minds.
Yeah, exactly.
Any episode.
It is.
Very convenient for everything just to come together.
Yeah.
But I digress.
Greg from Dharma and Greg knows ancient Greek.
Yeah, and he knows where those texts were hidden 100 years ago.
Yeah.
In a sewer pipe in the base of New York City.
It's a great show, airing Wednesdays at 9 p.m.
CBS. I don't even know if any of that's true.
I don't know.
So
It's all
Lex
made up.
Luthor is literally setting up Superman with all these instances. The first being in the desert to try to turn the public's eye on him a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And so that he can get the right to make this weapon using the piece of kryptonite from the Indian Ocean.
Yep. By George, he's got it.
Under the sea. Which is the largest piece they've ever found, enough to weaponize, I guess, all the little fragments that they've discovered. Couldn't be put together to make one big fragment to make enough.
It's a house of cards.
But they wanted the big one, and they found it. And so Bruce Wayne is trying to track this one piece down in order to get it to help weaponize it. Same reason that Lex Luthor wants it. Except Lex Luthor wants a kill switch, and Batman is smart enough to try to beat the person and really see if, he could conquer it, because he likes a challenge.
Yeah.
I guess. But then, basically, at the end of all of it, Lex Luthor is just like a stereotypical villain, not Lex Luthor, using his power and things to do stuff. He's really just kind of blackmailing people, murdering people, blowing things up.
He was like egging on Batman and Superman to fight.
Yeah, and then he had to, you could have avoided everything and just kidnapped Martha and said, go kill that guy or I kill your mother.
Yeah, that's
First
so
act
hilarious.
over.
Yeah.
But he didn't, and it seemed very easy to get Martha in that car. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean,
Well, Diane
She's
Lane's an
old.
elderly lady, yeah.
Diane Lane is also a wonderful lady.
terrific.
Okay.
A godsend.
Hilariously, didn't Ben Affleck sleep with her in a movie back in the day?
There's a meme going around.
Oh.
Does it have Superman crying? Yep.
Underneath, yeah.
You screwed my mom!
Yeah, it's pretty.
Oh, that's
pretty
No
brilliant.
wonder he said he was going to protect her. There you go.
Oh,
my God.
That was the next
what he
morning.
said.
You saved my life.
I'm not signing off on this.
It all makes
I
sense
am.
now, guys.
That's sick.
Just click
That
though.
is
I
sick.
don't want that.
You fucked up, Ben Affleck. So ultimately, their lines cross that way. Superman doesn't like the Bat because he's judge, jury, and executioner, and that's what he's not liking all of a sudden after killing 10,000 people.
He was saving people? Like the whole
I guess
world, though.
10,000 to save a few billion is pretty good.
No. Not for Superman.
They just happened to
But he's
die,
not
okay?
Superman yet. But somehow he got all the way to the point of fighting Doomsday and dying
Yeah.
without actually being like a full-on Superman. Because if Superman were there, he would not let a single person die. He'd make it work.
Yeah.
It's
It's interesting to see what happens when you move up the plot point in the superhero's life of, instead of, because usually it goes, you are in love and then you have to like say no to love to be able to do your purpose. And he like skipped that whole saga, like,
Nah, I can do both.
and when we went right to Doomsday.
Yeah.
we did no Lois
Again,
Lane. Well, they won't then.
Warner Brothers needed to make catch up to the timelines
I know.
of Marvel. And they literally had to have mashed these 3 movies together.
Yeah, they scooped us right in.
Like, unreal. Like, you could have had an entire movie of Batman reacting to what happened in Metropolis, trying to figure out who Superman is, where he is, and at the same time getting hints of this rock or, whatever. Yeah. And then you could have had Superman
which leads
developing the Lois Lane relationship, showing us, outside of just knowing in the universe that Superman will always save Lois Lane, let us see an entire movie where he saves people, like, during the daytime, just saves people, does his job for at least half the movie.
Yeah.
And then we see him fight a big bad or something, whatever, which leads us into Lois is going to the desert, this is happening, and then
Dawn of Justice.
And then Dawn of Justice happens, and we get to, at the same time, you can pepper in some of these things. We can see Wonder Woman in different sections. We can see people like Cyborg and the Flash, like just, popping up in news things in the background. We don't have to have a dossier where we literally, as like, how do we write this? Well, people like Wikipedia. Let's just have a fucking Lex Luthor Wikipedia page for them to click on identifying logos and watch a clip during the middle of this movie. Like a fucking YouTube clip will pop up and everybody will sit in the theater and watch it. They could have creatively done that over the course of a few films. And they would have been able to develop those stories, those characters, to where when Superman fucking dies at the end, you were sitting there just crying nonstop.
Or at least having any emotions. Other than just like, I really have to go to the bathroom. Do you think that there's enough time left in this movie that I should get up?
And that was my problem because 15 minutes into this movie, I had to pee so bad. And there were so many moments where I sat there and went, man, maybe this is a small lull. I can run to the bathroom really fast, get back before something happens. Nope. And every time I was like, oh, I'll just wait, man. I really want to see this movie. I'd hate to walk out, and all of a sudden they're like, yeah, dude. Cyborg showed up, gave him a high five, and left. And I'd be like, what? I would have been pissed.
I would have said it.
Yeah. Can you believe it? Fucking Martian Manhunter, bro. Like, what? That would have pissed me off. But, that was my problem. So, like, during the whole finale, I was like, oh, just like leaning side to side in so much pain, going, God, please don't piss yourself. Like, it was so bad.
We were kind of like hoping you would, though.
Yeah. I bet you guys would have enjoyed that. Did you get to say what you didn't like about the movie, Chris?
I made a joke about it. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. We all laughed.
Thanks.
Oh,
yeah.
Good.
Matt, we know what
Jimmy
you
Kimmel,
did
remember?
like. Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah. We know what you did like, the relationship between Batman, Bruce Wayne, and Alfred, but what didn't you like there?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think it kind of touched on that throughout. I mean, I think they should have split it into 3 movies.
All right, there you go.
That's one.
It's like,
that's probably my main one. Because then we would have gotten that story, hopefully. We would have gotten that kind of development that everybody, I think, is craving. And people making these movies just assume that we've got it. And honestly, if you're going to do the origin stories again and you're going to reboot everything, you got to have Superman doing his damn job. You got to have Batman doing his damn job for a while. Yeah. We have to see them being heroes before we can go like, fuck yeah, he just attached a car, tethered a car to the Batmobile with a dude inside of it, bouncing off of everything for a quarter mile before he flipped it onto another car, killing them and the dude who probably was still alive, maybe inside the other car, before they all fucking blew up.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That was pretty badass.
But we would have been like, fuck, if we had that development. We would have been like, yes.
Right, if Christian Bale's Batman did that.
But Christian Bale's Batman wouldn't do that.
No, I know. But I'm saying, like, we knew Christian Bale's Batman enough to be able to say
exactly
what he would not do.
We didn't get a Batman origin story, really. This was kind of supposed to be it, but we could have gotten a better story out of that before this. We could have gotten a better story with Superman. We could have gotten a better Wonder Woman story.
Yeah.
This was rushed, and I think it's trying to keep kind of parallels with the Marvel Universe, kind of the way they did when the comics were coming out back in the days, It was just kind of, we all have very similar characters doing very similar things, just different storylines.
It's because they're both owned by gigantic corporations who are all in cahoots.
All corporation-y. Yeah.
What?
It's the syndicate from the X-Files is giving us art now. Well, superhero movies anyway.
Illuminati.
So that's why,
That's a little
because
X-Files.
they own the comics back in the day, they own the same companies own the movies. So that's so it's gonna do that, and it's gonna be on and on and on until something changes.
Well, I really look forward to what the DC Universe can bring. I hope that the bad reviews will kind of make the studios say, okay, maybe we need to stop pushing this stuff out as fast as we can, start taking a step back, developing the stories a little bit more, developing the characters a little bit more, making certain things a little bit more practical, especially for Wonder Woman, and bringing in some more female characters that aren't just damsels in distress.
Yeah.
I would really like that to happen. That's what I would like to see. We get plenty of action in these movies, and they really need to just kind of tone it down a little bit and let us get some good movies in.
Yeah.
We get great action, but we also want it to be a great movie, not just a great action sequence.
Yeah.
That's what I look forward to that. I hope they hear that with all these bad reviews, and I think that's really what they just need to do, is they need to listen to the people a little bit, because Marvel does that like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And Marvel caters to their fans a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, let me say this. Disney caters to their fans a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
Do it in the parks, do it with their movies, do it with Star Wars, doing it with this, doing it with Indiana Jones next. Like, they cater to fans. So, and DC is trying to just trying to do it.
Please
So,
see it, like it.
They've had a tough road with like rights and with like trying to get things out, and it's just like they just gotta take the time to do it right. They're gonna make all the money they want to make off of it, but they need to just do it right and stop having to force reboots or force parallel universes of these things, but just keep it all in one big cinematic universe and kick ass doing it. And they can.
They can. It's
they
gonna
totally
happen.
can.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Shows on the road.
That's what I'm hoping I see in the future.
Cool.
I'm hopeful.
Hopeful.
Well, I am hopeful in a different way, because I am glad to see movies like this come out, because I think it's going to just pave the way for new characters and new stories and just create more of an appetite, because when you give people the same thing over and over and over again, they just want something different more.
Yeah.
For sure. Hope.
Well, would you guys, after our whole discussion, would you guys recommend people going to see this movie, or would you recommend them waiting until it comes on video? Would you recommend them not see it at all?
I would say listen to the reviews and go see the movie. Know ahead of time that you may not like some bits, but I think you'll enjoy it if you know.
It's not a perfect film. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just be happy you're getting a Batman versus Superman movie.
True.
Extremely happy about that.
Yeah, I mean, like, just be happy you're getting one, dude. Seriously.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Katie?
What was the question?
Would you recommend people see this film?
Well, I think if you are a type of fan who liked The Force Awakens, and you're a Star Wars fan, you like The Force Awakens. If you liked Man of Steel, if you're a Superman fan, you liked Man of Steel. If you are any of the CW shows, Flash, Green Arrow, oh, not Green Lantern, huh? Green Arrow, any of those guys, if you are those fans and you like those versions of those characters, I think that you will like this version of these characters, and you should, by all means, go see the movie. In general, go see the movie if you're interested in it, because everyone should see movies and experience whatever it is to experience. Even if the experience is just understanding yourself a little bit better and saying, I am tired of the same old boys club, or whatever your gripe may be.
#feminism.
Stop that.
And, I would recommend people go see this movie, and I think if you actually read the comics that this movie was pretty much based off of, like actually read them, not just say you read them because your friends have and you think it's cool to say you did it, actually read these comics, you'll enjoy this movie. You won't love it, but it's good, So, I mean, it's worth watching. That's my opinion. So that's what I have to say to people listening, hoping to hear something like that.
Yeah, if you want action, you're going to get action like not. Yeah.
It's not even that. There's, like I said, I guarantee there's
so much, man.
3 or 4 dozen straight shots off of pages,
Absolutely.
Straight onto screen.
Yep.
And there's a lot of little story bits that are in there too. Well, anyway, it seems like we were kind of mostly enjoyed the film, but had our gripes with specific moments and items and things throughout.
Yeah, I mean, I hope we portrayed a clear picture of things. The goal is only to tell the truth. The goal is the truth.
Yeah.
Of our truth.
So that's going to do it for us. I hope you enjoyed our first ever video podcast. If you were watching, if you're listening, thanks again for coming back and listening, and hopefully you subscribe on iTunes. Also subscribe to our YouTube page. You can find us at Hollywood Redux on all social medias. That was our discussion on Batman versus Superman. Let us know what you think. If you liked the film, if you didn't like the film, comment underneath the video or on our page. For the Writer's Room, I am Matt. Thank you so much for joining us on another episode.
I'm Grisalia.
I'm Katie.
Hey, I'm Michael this time.